Hello, hi everyone, this is Shrija. Welcome to Skinorial, where I talk all things skincare. So if you like skincare related content, then make sure that you subscribe. Likewise, you can also follow me on Instagram, where I post more regularly. I have been making certain changes in my skincare routine to tackle the dryness that I face due to my use of actives and to reduce transepidermal water loss in the skin. Now, if you're new into skincare and you don't know what transepidermal water loss is, then let me just give you a brief. So what happens is there's a moisture barrier on our skin, and over the period of time, like if you have a very healthy functional skin barrier, then there is a balance of oil and water in your skin and your skin is well hydrated. But sometimes due to external situations like dryness or like overuse of actives, or if your barrier is compromised, then the water sort of starts to evaporate from the skin, and which leads to dehydrated skin and sort of also increases dryness and inflammation in the skin. So this phenomena is called transepidermal water loss, and you can actually prevent it just by making certain changes into your skincare routine. So starting with the first tip that I want to share with you all, and that is using a humidifier. It's really not related to skincare at all, but using a humidifier in your room in winters can actually make a lot of difference if you live in a climate like where it gets really dry. I have personally linked 3 favorite humidifiers that I have purchased from Amazon, and I keep using them. One is like a more like a big one that you sort of it needs to be plugged in. Then there is one which is more travel friendly and portable, and one that you can actually keep at your desk where you work. I see, even though I don't use heaters, but I see a lot of people using heaters or like oil heaters or electronic heaters or whatever. So due to the increase in the heat, like their weather actually gets really dry, and this can increase dryness in your skin. So having a humidifier sort of like balances everything out, and it's just really good for your skin. Or if you suffer from seasonal allergies, a humidifier can really help. You can also put a humidifier before sleeping. This will just really also help with your skin and like also help out with any allergies that you might face. Now moving on to my second tip, I actually switched from like lightweight toners to a thicker one, or like even better to an essence. A lot of you, like if you have been following me, you guys already know this Snail Mucin is one of my favorite products for winters, because it's so good at hydrating and repairing your skin barrier. And again, it's just like it just provides a boost of hydration. A lot of people are apprehensive about using Snail Mucin, so you can also use like an essence or a toner with like different types of hyaluronic acid that will also have like a same effect. I have few product recommendations. Like I'm not talking about products in this video because I just want to share the tips. The products are mentioned in the description, so yeah, feel free to check them out. Now another key thing to remember is like when I actually reduce the time gap between layering during winters, because what happens if you leave your toner, wait for 30 seconds, your skin is just gonna get dry, like the toner or the essence is gonna get completely absorbed, and then again when you apply again, so you just want your skin to be damp. Just quickly get over with all the steps in like a minute, and then of course wait for 5 minutes before you apply sunscreen. So how I go about is that I'll apply my toner or my essence, then I'll apply my moisturizer, and then if I'm using any exfoliating acid, then I'll use it after the moisturizer. Or if like I'm using like something like a Centella serum or things like that, then of course that goes before the moisturizer. And then once everything is gets absorbed into my skin, I sort of wait for 5 minutes, and then I go ahead with my sunscreen application. Do keep in mind that the third tip that I want to share is like something which you will need to personalize for yourself, and that is actually switching the order of the actives. Like for me personally, I can very well tolerate most of the retinols and the exfoliating acids like in the serum form on my damp skin, and I'm fine with it. Like it doesn't increase dryness or irritation in my skin, but a lot of people can't. So when that is happening to you, like especially in winters, you will use your moisturizer and then wait for 5 minutes and then go ahead with the actives. This is also true for pure ascorbic acid serums. So for me, pure ascorbic acid serum works well. Like I use it on damp skin even in winters, but if I'm using a high percentage AHA, then I use it after my moisturizer in my winters. But that's about it. That is the only shift that I make. But yes, switching the rotation of a moisturizer and serum can actually help minimize irritation. and reduce transepidermal water loss in the skin, because you know, a lot of the time people like who have sensitive skin, they have to wait till their skin is completely dry and then they go ahead with their active and their moisturizer. So then again, that will sort of increase the risk of dehydration in the skin. So by just using moisturizer before, of course you're buffering the active a little bit, but you know, your skin is, the chances of hydration in your skin sort of increases. Now when I say buffering the active, it doesn't mean that you make your active less effective. Just think of it like, you know, the pure ascorbic acid serum will work in a similar way. Only when you buffer it, the time taken might increase. That's the only difference. It's not like it's going to be less effective, only the time duration is going to be increased. Now moving on to my fourth tip, and that is using either petrolatum or ceramide or like, you know, occlusive ingredients to seal in the moisture in the skin. Now when I say petrolatum, a lot of people are like, by petrolatum or like Vaseline, a lot of people are very fearful because they feel it's comedogenic or it's cancerous or like, I don't know, but it's not. It's a completely safe ingredient. In fact, petrolatum hands down is one of the best ingredients to seal in transepidermal water loss in the skin. So if you have oily acne prone skin and you suffer from dry patches, like I personally suffer from dry patches around mouth and nose, and I use like a bit of petrolatum before going to bed around these areas. If you have dry skin, you can actually apply it on your entire face. No, petrolatum is like, if you want to go by the comedogenic rating, it's a non-comedogenic ingredient actually, and it forms a permeable barrier on your skin. So of course, I'm not saying if you have oily acne prone skin, just start slugging your face in petrolatum, but I'm just telling you that if you use it on dry spots, it's not going to create any issues for you. Again, with ceramides, like I switch all my gel-based moisturizer to like something which is rich in occlusive or emollient, because they sort of, you know, feel in services in the skin and they seal in transepidermal water loss. I love ceramide based products in general, but in winters they are definitely like a staple for me. Now another fifth tip from my side would be, it's not related to adding anything, but to actually, like, you know, it's related to removing products from your routine, and that is powder mask. Like I see a lot of people, like especially in India, we're all a fan of our Uptons and things like that, but they can be drying and they can increase transepidermal water loss in winter. So I highly recommend that you switch your powder mask to something which is more hydrating, nourishing, or even sleeping packs works really well for winters. So definitely this would be like one little change that you can do. Also, if you still want to use a powder mask, make sure you reduce the time limit or you keep misting it again and again to sort of like, you know, to make sure it's damp. Like don't just dry it. Like I hate it when people just let their clay mask or powder mask dry it, like it becomes so cakey. Don't do that because it's dehydrating your skin. So yeah, that is all I have for you guys today. All the product recommendations are in the description below. Again, the product recommendation is in the description box, and if you have any questions for me, feel free to put them in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.